How's it going, everyone? Thank you for tuning into the CatchAll, a podcast where we talk to locals about everything from catching fish to catching feelings. I'm your host, Mike, and with me is my co-host in the studio and in life, Jenna.
Hey.
All right, let's get into it. Today you're listening to our first episode, and we will be introducing ourselves. I know some of you already know us, but if you don't, we're going to be using this opportunity to tell you a little bit about us. And maybe, even though you might know us, you might learn something new. We're going to be asking each other questions so you guys can see how we think and shine a little light on what makes us who we are. How's it going, Jenna?
It's going pretty good. A little tired, but pretty good.
Yeah?
How about you?
Do you want to start? Or do you want me to start?
You go.
Okay. So I'm Mike. I'm a 90s baby, born here in Yakima. And when I was a kid, my first celebrity crush was the Pink Ranger. I had a bunch of pogs, and of course, everyone, including myself, loved Backstreet Boys and NSYNC. I streaked my hair for the first time in the 90s. Had it most of the 90s. My friend's mom streaked my hair for the first time, and I fell in love with it. That was kind of the thing back then, and I kept it until about middle school. So, yeah. Jenna?
Are you just fiending to do it again?
I thought about it a couple times, actually. Just kind of bring it back, but I haven't yet.
So I'm Jenna, and I'm also a 90s baby. I grew up doing gymnastics and dance like 24/7. Still love to dance. Added a little bit of hula hooping as I got older, which I should get back into. I don't know, my life is my husband and my kids, basically, and family. And I guess one of my most favorite qualities is like honesty. So
And there you go. That's Jenna in a nutshell, if
Pretty
you guys
much.
don't know. So I've got some questions that we're going to kind of just ask each other. We pretty much know the answers to these, but you guys may not. So some of them,
I don't know.
we'll see. You guys might learn something as well as us. So we'll see. So just some basic questions. What schools did you go to growing up?
Everyone in Sela. I never left Sela. So you got John Campbell, junior high school.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Pretty boring.
I went to Ridgeview in elementary school, and then in 6th grade I moved out to West Valley. Went there until about middle of 8th, and then moved out to Sela, and then finished my high school career in Sela. Woo woo!
Well,
Go
yeah.
Vikings! Did you have a celebrity crush growing up?
I mean, my celebrity crushes were probably more like girls like Spice Girls and like that kind of thing, like Baby but like as like
I
a
did
guy,
have a crush
no,
on
not
Baby
really.
Spice, not gonna lie. Out of all the Spice Girls, it was Baby Spice was
Of
the one
course,
that
she's
did it for
got the
me.
pigtails, blue eyes,
Yeah, she was
got
hot.
a sucker. Like, how could you not?
Everybody liked sporty and posh, but I was more like in the Baby Spice.
Yep.
But nothing compared to Pink Ranger, just because she was like independent woman, can kick ass, morphs.
Yeah. Yep.
But of course, she was all about Tommy, so whatever.
Oh, poor Mikey. So let's see. What is the biggest risk you ever took?
Biggest risk I ever took?
Yeah.
Oh shit. Starting this podcast, I guess. It's a pretty big risk. I mean, I'm just going for it. I don't know. I'm not really much of a risk taker.
That's surprising.
No, I mean, I don't mind doing things, but I'm not much
You have a lot of
risk
thought
taker.
behind your stuff. You're not just a jump in. You're a
I think about things
Yeah.
before I do things. Like, I am a little ambitious when it comes to certain things, but when it comes to something, I don't try and risk it all. I try and think of the pros and cons and stuff before I do something.
You're methodical.
Yeah. I mean, I will go to the casino and gamble every once in a while, which I haven't done in a long time. But I haven't like done anything like crazy where I like risked a lot of stuff for little to possibly no reward. Because I work hard for my stuff and I don't want to lose it, essentially, I guess.
I feel it.
So, so you mentioned you did gymnastics and dance and stuff growing up. Did you play any other sports or anything like that?
I did everything when I was young. Basketball, softball, soccer, basically anything. I think the only thing my mom said no to was ice skating.
Ice skating.
But
that'd be kind of cool.
Everything else I did.
That'd be kind of fun to get into ice skating, even as an adult. I mean, it's just, I like regular skating. I mean, I'm not very good at it, but it's still fun.
So are you saying you're going to go ice skating? Because every time I ask you, say no.
I don't know, maybe.
Is it too much of a risk for you?
No, it's not much. It's not that much of a risk, unless I fall on my ass and hurt myself.
Well, I work at the right place, so you'll be all right.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, sports when I grew up, I basically was not really forced, but encouraged heavily to play baseball. I liked watching baseball, but I never really liked playing it very much. And it was fun. It wasn't coach pitch, it was player pitch. So we had a player on the team who was probably a little older than I was, who pitched, and I just was not very good at it.
I cannot see you playing baseball.
I understand the game and everything. I just never really enjoyed baseball too much, and I know someone's probably going to hate me for it, but I was more like a basketball and football fan growing up. Charlotte Hornets, Orlando Magics, and then of course growing up, football it's always Seahawks. I mean, where it's local, so but yeah, so
let's see. Favorite food or restaurant?
Favorite food, something I could eat pretty much any time is like either cheeseburger or tacos.
Where's the hot dog in this conversation?
The hot. I mean, I love me a good hot dog, but if I had to choose between a burger and a hot dog, I mean, I guess it depends on the burger and the hot dog. Like if it was a nice, with
we
all
did
the
have a pretty good
fixins
hot
kinda
dog the other day
dogs,
with
I've
bacon
had plenty-
wrapped.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've
it
had
was
plenty of
pretty
hot
good.
dogs. Choose hot dogs over burgers, but if the burger looks dry and just like a frozen patty or something like that, I like homemade stuff, like make your own patties type situation.
Well, I'm saying favorite. I hope it's like somebody's really putting some effort into it.
Well, like the burgers that I make, I mean, I like them just because, like, I make them myself. I don't just, I mean, if we're doing a party or something like that, and there's a lot of people, I'll get frozen patties. And in that case, usually I choose a hot dog over a burger. But if I am making it just for us, then I'll choose a burger usually over a hot dog. Maybe both.
Same.
Why not? Shit. And tacos, of course, I love tacos. All the different kinds of tacos. Doesn't matter. I don't judge based off of what it is, unless it's like a vegetarian taco or some shit. But
Put it in a tortilla.
it's got to have
happy.
meat. It's got to have meat. It would probably be, if I had to choose a protein, it would probably be either beef or I had goat not that long ago, and it was actually really good.
What? When?
Chivas.
Did not know.
So taco place in Ellensburg, Tacos Chilitos, they serve goat, and it was delicious.
I've never had goat, shockingly.
Yeah, I've had goat. I've had lengua tacos.
Lengua's great.
It's phenomenal. And then obviously you have your different types of beef, chicken, and pork, but it'd have to be beef, of course, and then after that it'd probably be maybe lengua or Chivas. They're kind of hand in hand. They're tied.
Mm-hmm.
So,
nice.
So going back to like growing up and stuff, for you at least, did you have any best friends growing up?
Yeah. I mean, don't we all? I mean, you have different best friends at different ages. Like, people intertwine with us and then typically go separate ways. I I'm trying to think of like my first best friend, and I probably should know that. But most of my friends growing up were my cousins because we were always with each other. So those, you know, we were always with them. So
We'll leave that to the audience to decide if your cousins count as best friends.
they 100% can count as your best friends.
Yeah.
That's like saying I'm not your best friend.
No, you are my best friend.
Exactly.
But we're not related either. Thank goodness.
Okay. Taking a turn.
My best friend growing up was Alex. We did a lot of things together. And then when I moved away in 6th grade, we kind of fell apart because it's the 90s, you know, and early 2000s. You don't have cell phones and internet and email and Skype and TikTok.
You're 2 streets over and you just can't get a hold of each other.
I mean, we weren't that far apart, but, you know, as you get older, you know, you getting new friends and doing stuff. And we've always, for a long time, we kept in contact, but then we kind of lost contact. And now it's 2024 and we still talk. We don't talk, excuse me, as much as we used to. And maybe that'll change. Who knows? We'll see.
So what was the last thing you searched on Spotify?
The last thing I searched on Spotify.
Didn't know where I was going with that one, did you?
No, I did not. Let's see. Last thing I searched on Spotify was Green Leaves by Kupla.
Yep.
Which is a song similar to our intro song. It's kind of some of the inspiration that I had that for the intro and outro songs for this podcast was Kupla, and there's another guy, can't remember his name. It's like the song's name is like Tovin or Tozin or something like that. I think it's like Russian or somewhere overseas. But I've been really into like the chill hop lo-fi vibe lately, just because it's very like calming, but it's still kind of upbeat. So you can like work. It doesn't have a lot of lyrics, if any. So you can like work, study, drive, kind of do whatever.
You can still think
without being too distracted by the lyrics and just overwhelming instrumentals, I guess. But it's just, I've been really into it. But that's the last thing I looked at on Spotify.
I like it. It's a good one.
Yeah. Okay, so I got one for you.
Okay.
It could be from childhood. It could be from, more recent, whatever. But do you have any embarrassing stories that you don't mind telling?
Embarrassing stories. There should be something that just like should pop right into your mind.
Usually.
I know. Embarrassing story.
Unless she's stalling.
I'm not. I think it's because my brain is tired. It should just be like right there. Something embarrassing. Oh, there's so many.
Do you want me to start?
Sure. If you have yours, go ahead. I'll think about it.
So when I was a little kid, I lived down the street from a mini mart. And we used to go there all the time. And this is when like candy was like pennies. You know, you could buy a Tootsie Roll for a penny. And we used to go down there with a couple of dollars or even 50 cents and load up on some snacks. And it was, I believe it was a 7-Eleven or maybe an AM PM back then. I don't know what it is now either, because I don't go down that area very often anymore. But the employees there always let me use the restroom. And this one particular time, for whatever reason, as a child, I mean, I'm like 8 or 9, needed to use the restroom. Well, I'm there with my brother and our neighbor, Reynaldo, and they're taking their time. I've already paid. I'm waiting. I'm trying to hurry up. I asked them if I can use the restroom. They told me no. So we're about 2 blocks away from home. So I start skedaddling home and clenching my cheeks, and I shit my pants. This is a shit your pants story.
All right.
So
straight to it.
And then about, half a block away, I, do the deed, and I start crying, and I make my way home, and in the bath I go. So, and of course, Reynaldo and my brother, they're laughing and making fun of me.
Any nicknames you got for that?
But, yeah, that's a little bit about me. I guarantee most people listening did not know about that story, except for maybe a very, very small select few.
Did you get a nickname for it or no?
No nickname.
Darn.
No nickname. I was older and bigger than both of them. So
Something we don't talk about.
I could honestly beat both of them up at the time. Don't know anything about Ronaldo nowadays, but my brother is about 6 inches taller than me now. So he would whip my ass nowadays. No. Embarrassing story.
Yeah, so embarrassing story.
Okay,
I'm going to it.
I thought you were jumping
No,
to the next question.
no. I'll tell one. It's not shitting your pants, but I went to Vegas one time and, of course, had a few drinks, and we went to a nice restaurant. Sitting down, and we were eating an appetizer, and then the waiter came over, and he kind of reached his hand over, and I took my hand out and tried to shake his hand because I was just like awkward and like I didn't know what he was doing, but he was just trying to grab my plate, and I just was petrified. Like, it was so awkward, and like I was like didn't know what to do, and I didn't know what to do, and then I had to sit the rest of dinner and dessert and everything, so it was just very uncomfortable.
That's funny. I'm not gonna lie. That's
it's really funny, but at the time was awful.
That's almost up there with like when they say enjoy your meal and you say you too.
I think it's beyond that.
It's a pretty darn close second. I would say.
Yeah, it was bad. All right, moving on. If you had to pick any character in a movie or TV show who is most similar to you, who would you choose and why?
Most similar to me, a character in a movie or show. Oh man, that's a tough freaking question.
I can't answer this one, but I thought you could.
I have no idea.
Do you want to come back to it and think about it?
No, I want you to tell me who you think I would be.
I don't know. I don't have anybody in my mind. I just thought it would be a good one for you.
Shit.
You're the movie show watcher.
I don't know. I always try to think maybe like I would be the good guy in a movie.
But what good guy?
But like the awkward good guy that's kind of funny. Like maybe.
Are we talking like a Michael Cera?
That's
or like
exactly who I was thinking is Michael Cera. So like I don't know. Youth in Revolt would be a good one because he's like
Youth in Revolt. Why do I not know that one?
So it's Michael Cera and he wants to be like he meets a girl. And he wants to like be a
he
bad
always
boy
meets a
for
girl.
her, and he creates like an alter ego where he's like a bad boy.
Oh, okay.
So, and it's like he like creates a persona, but it's an actual like it to him it looks like a physical person. So he's like talking to this person while he's as that persona talking to the girl or whoever he's talking to. It's a really weird movie, but it's pretty funny and it's actually a pretty good one. It's got Zach Galifianakis in it, Michael Cera, and then a couple other people. It's pretty good.
And so why is he similar to you?
Just because, like, he's a nice guy and he tries to be a bad boy, but at the end he's just a nice guy, I guess.
You don't think you're a bad boy?
I guess I try sometimes to act like a badass, but I guess at the end of the day I'm kind of not.
I'm not mad about it.
I'm really a badass.
You are badass in very, like,
I
tons
guess
of
maybe
ways.
in a different way, but not, like, causing trouble. He, like, catches a
I'm
car
shocked you
on
didn't
fire
say
and
Scott
burns
Pilgrim,
down
though.
half of a town, and he runs from the police and stuff, so I'm definitely not that person, but...
But you didn't say Scott Pilgrim?
No, not Scott Pilgrim, because if I was, I could fight and like a million people and make coins.
Maybe when you were young.
But that comes to one of my next questions is what's your favorite movie or top 3 favorite movies? And I guess I could
one
start.
of them.
I could start right now, I guess, or you could start.
That one right there. It's on mine. I know it's on yours as well.
Count Pilgrim versus the World. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a comic mixed with like a video game, and it's got Michael Cera in it and a couple other A-list celebrities. So if you like comedy, video games, comics, and music and fighting, then it's a pretty good one to check out.
It's great.
Anyways, top 3 movies, I guess.
That's so hard because there's way more than 3. I got to go with my girly side though, but I have two of them that kind of tie. So a lot like Love, which has Amanda Peet and Ashton Kutcher. It's just it's just funny and, normal chick flick. And then Wedding Date, which is Deborah Messing and
that redhead chick with that guy.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
I don't remember
I should.
either.
All the girls were like, "Oh my god, he's so hot," but I just liked the movie.
Yeah, I watched that with you.
But those ones are like tied.
It's actually, for a chick flick, it's actually a pretty decent movie.
I pick pretty good chick flicks. I'm not like let's sit down and watch The Notebook and
I've watched
just
The Notebook
not me.
plenty of times. I
think you've watched it more than me. I think I've watched it twice,
it,
maybe.
but it's not one I'm like gonna go watch.
I liked it, but I don't need to watch it over and over.
Yeah. Top three for me would be absolutely, Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And then if I had to choose,
well, mine was technically only two because those ones are tied, but Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is up there for me as well.
Great movie.
So
I love that freaking movie.
Yes.
One of my other top three would have to be SLC Punk.
Yep.
I love SLC Punk. I could watch that movie a million times.
Ditto.
I love that movie. Matthew Lillard does a great job in that movie as being the punk and the main character. And then also, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is a great one, but I can't take that one. So I'd have to say, I got it Blow.
Blow, yeah. I was going to say maybe like Boondock Saints or something like that.
Boondock Saints
Blow,
is great
yeah.
too. If I had to do a top 10, it would be there. But
for sure.
I would have to say Blow with Johnny Depp, just because it's such a great movie. It's got comedy, drama, and it's based off true events. It may not be completely true. It might be fabricated a little bit to make it seem more astonishing than it actually is. But, I mean, it's still a pretty crazy story and a good movie overall. If you got 2.5 hours to kill and you haven't seen it, check it out, especially if you like Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you didn't say Sweeney Todd?
Sweeney Todd's a good one, too.
There's just too many.
Yeah, there's so many good movies out there.
Top three's too hard.
Top three's tough, but I wanted to break it down to top three.
Yeah. Got to cut it off somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So, let's see. What do people misunderstand about you?
Misunderstand about me?
Yeah.
I guess most of the time that I'm in their political spectrum.
Yeah. It's true. Cause
a lot of people believe I'm a lot of people believe I'm like diehard Republican and conservative, and I do have some conservative values, like, the nuclear family and raising your kids and believing in certain things. But I'm also, in an aspect, I guess, kind of liberal in certain things. Like, I don't give a shit if who you marry, as long as it doesn't affect anybody else around you. Then kind of do what you do. I don't really care when it comes to certain things. But overall, I guess I would be more conservative, I guess, on my views. But I'm definitely not a Republican or a Democrat. I think they're both shady and corrupt in their own ways. So I would be more conservative on that aspect, but
I didn't realize we were getting political.
They're neither of them. But when you ask the question, and that's the only thing that most people misunderstand about.
I'm just kidding, but yeah,
just
it's
because
true.
I enjoy guns and.
Well, people like to stick you into a category typically.
Well, you're always in a category.
Yeah,
you have to be. You can't be just yourself. You have to be belonging to a group, which I think is stupid, but that's just the way the world is.
I don't fit in boxes very well, so.
Yeah. What about you?
What do people misunderstand about me?
Yeah.
I can tell you something people don't like about me.
Honesty.
My honesty, they don't. I mean, as I get older, it's easier because people are more mature, so they don't really care. But growing up, they didn't like it. They would literally tell me to like lie to them and then go, talk about them behind their back. But I just wasn't good at that, so I lost a lot of friends when I would just tell them if I didn't like something.
Yeah, honesty's a tough one.
It is.
Because obviously you don't want to hurt people's feelings, but at the same
No.
time you want to be honest with them. So I mean, that's kind of the thing is.
Catch-22 just happens.
Yeah, it is a catch-22. I mean, a little white lie might be okay every once in a while, but at the same time, if someone looks like shit and they're out in public, like you kind of want to tell them without saying like, "Hey, you look like shit," but like, "Hey, man, like, you need a haircut or something like that, or whatever it may be." You know, especially if they're your friends, you want to be honest with them and help them out. But some people.
So I guess we could say misunderstanding is just mine's out of love, and maybe they think it's
yeah,
in a different way, but that's not how I ever mean it.
Yeah,
but I'm sure it comes off wrong.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
my bad too.
Some people don't take criticism very well, and it comes across to them as maybe you're judging them or rude, but really you're just trying to help them, especially if it's constructive criticism. Not if you're just like, hey,
I feel it. I don't always like it, but it's just part of me.
If I get criticized sometimes, I feel like I'm being attacked, but I know that, especially if it's coming from someone that I trust and love, that it's coming from that same place, but it's just kind of how I was wired. So, trying to get better at it.
I feel it.
I guess we kind of jumped around a little bit. Yeah. I had some food stuff to ask you. You asked me my, whatever. So I'm going to ask you your favorite meal.
Favorite meal.
Your favorite meal. Favorite food. Favorite
chicken
meal.
Parmigiana.
Chicken Parmigiana.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would have been like pork tonkatsu.
Oh, well, now that you said
or
it.
Beef bulgogi.
No, so chicken Parmigiana and tonkatsu are probably hand in hand. They're both breaded, fried. One's got noodles and marinara and cheese. The other one's got rice, eggs, tonkatsu sauce, which if you haven't had it, go buy some, like a case of it, and cabbage. So, yeah, those, yeah, you're right, hand in hand. I'll take that any day if you want to make it tomorrow. Because I don't know how to make it.
You buy it, I'll make it.
It sounds good. Got a deal.
Tonkatsu is, I don't know if you guys know, and you can do it with chicken, but it's basically pork cutlet or pork chop, boneless. And then the way I do it is I tenderize it with one of the hammer tenderizer things. Salt, pepper, flour, egg, and then panko breadcrumbs. And then I get a pot or a little pan full of oil, whatever type of oil you like, usually like vegetable or canola. I usually use vegetable. Heat it up and just fry it. And then I put a better rice, white rice, and then shred up some cabbage, make some scrambled egg without any milk, because some people do milk in their scrambled eggs, and season it a little bit, and then put that all together, and then slice up the pork and put it on top. And then there's the sauce is the money.
Mm-hmm.
Tonkatsu sauce. I don't make it myself. I need to learn how, but I use Bulldog tonkatsu sauce. A lot of Asian markets carry it. We don't have very many Asian markets here in Yakima, so I ordered it online through Amazon, and it's just phenomenal. I love it. My aunt and uncle, when I lived with them in my early mid-20s, they used to make it, and I fell in love with it. So I learned how to make it, and I've been making it ever since.
And I just get to reap the benefits.
And wifey gets to reap the benefits of it. So,
not mad about it.
But if you can't do pork, you can always do chicken. I don't know any other alternatives to it, but that actually brings me into my next question.
Oh, you're going again? Let's go.
No, I would bring you into the next question. It's kind of like a part 2 of this question.
All right. Okay.
Can your food touch on the plate or no?
Depends on what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about chicken Parmigiana and tonkatsu, and all of that stuff touches.
Yeah.
But certain things are not meant to touch, Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it goes all down the same hole. So
it does. I'm definitely better than I used to be, but I like my stuff spread out, and I like to eat things, I don't know, the way they're supposed to be eaten in my mind.
We need to invest in some of those like plates that have like.
When I grew up,
sections.
we did those. They were blue, and they were like the military plates that had the little sections. And my mom was always cooking, more than one meal at night, like basically whatever we wanted. She'd be like, "Okay, you get spaghetti, you get pancakes." Like, seriously.
Spaghetti pancakes.
No, but like if
No,
my brother wanted something and I wanted something different, like that's just how my mom was. And then we always had a fruit and a veggie and bread and something to drink. So it was like that's why I like not necessarily buffet, but like family style meals. I love those where you could just put something down and like, I want a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a little bit of that. And I don't want it to touch.
Yeah, that kind of not the touching part. It doesn't really bother me too much, unless it's like spaghetti and like a chocolate cake or something on the same plate.
You're still gonna eat it.
I'm still gonna eat it, but when you take a bite of that chocolate cake, it's got a little marinara sauce on it. It's gonna be weird.
It's a little weird, yeah.
But you get over it. But kind of reminds me of when you're talking about your mom making all these different meals. It reminds me of like going to my grandma's.
Oh yeah.
Because my grandma, I mean, not so much nowadays, but when I was a little bit younger, probably like 10, 15 years ago, every time I would go over there, she would always have leftovers in the fridge. And it was like 5 different things. And she was always asking me, do you want this or want that? If you guys have seen Grandma's Boy, and when he comes home stoned and he makes all the food and he's like, oh, and he's got like all
Platter.
the things, all the things on the sheet with the banana. And that's basically how my grandma's house is. Same thing. There's
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this.
Different things, and it was just like.
And it's in the containers
Oh, do you
that
want
are
mashed potatoes? And I got lasagna and this and that. It's just random things that don't go together, but it's just one of
Why
those
not?
little things. It's kind of like a mini buffet, I guess. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. That stuff's my favorite. I like a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't want to cook it and I don't want to clean it. So invite me over and I'll come eat.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like a potluck almost.
Mm-hmm.
Or, yeah,
Oh,
like I said, buffet. Yeah. So.
Definitely. Let's, when you were a kid, what piece of advice would you give to your 15-year-old self?
15-year-old?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. 15.
Yeah, what were you doing at 15, Mikey? Do tell.
What was I doing at 15? Trying to stay out of trouble, I guess.
Or getting in trouble.
When was that? Like, that's like junior or freshman, sophomore year. Don't date that girl. No. It would be if it was just like life advice, it would be like, don't take things too seriously. Have fun, because life is short. Enjoy. Just enjoy. Now, if it was like adult Mike, now financially, I'd say fucking invest in Bitcoin. Invest in Bitcoin. Just put $100 on Bitcoin, put it in a wallet, and just forget about it. I will take care of the rest.
Future Mikey thanks you.
Yeah, future Mikey thanks you. That's kind of my thing. But no, if it was more like just life advice, it'd be like just enjoy life. Life's too short. Don't take things too seriously. Like, obviously some things need to be serious.
Were you a serious kid growing up, Mikey?
No, I was not a serious kid growing up. I was a jokester. I skipped class. I made friends. I was kind of like that, but I did take.
But your 15-year-old self needed the advice to.
But I did
not
take
be...
things. I did take some things too seriously, and I guess I did take some things not as seriously as I should have. So maybe it's like
combo.
Maybe a combo. Maybe like a prioritize, I guess. So
change it up.
So maybe not take things. Don't take things too seriously, but maybe prioritize things that need to be taken seriously, and then the rest just kind of have fun with it.
Yeah.
So, do you have any advice for your 15-year-old self?
Yeah. Just when you're so young, you just can't see past that age, and just that in that time doesn't really matter, and people are going to judge you no matter what. But I always took that to heart, and it's so silly because it doesn't matter at the end of the day, because I know who I am. But when you're a kid, you're just stuck in that mentality of believing whatever someone is saying about you, whether it's true or not. So basically
it's just I think it's the high school mentality.
It is.
Like everything matters now. Like everything's such a shit show and stuff. And obviously there are a few instances where things can affect your life beyond. But for the most part, stuff in high school stays in high school. So if you're a high school student, just uh,
It gets better
it gets
if it's
better.
not good. But if it is good, then just keep rolling.
Yeah, it does get better, but don't go crazy with the good times, because too many good times will create some bad times possibly, unless you're
Just one of those lucky ones.
one of those real lucky ones, you win the lotto, or your family's rich, or I don't know, you just have the best luck in the world. Then yes, I salute you and teach me all your secrets. Okay, I guess I got one for you. What is your proudest accomplishment?
My children.
Your children?
My children.
I was
for
going to
sure.
say becoming a father would be my proudest accomplishment.
Yeah, being a mom, but yeah, my.
Becoming a father, and that's so cliche to say, but it is. I haven't accomplished a lot of things in my life,
Yeah, you have.
but I think that would be my biggest, just because I feel like I'm so good at it, being a dad.
You are a great dad. It's all
My
Peanut says.
my kids are my world. Obviously, my wife is as well, my family is,
Ditto.
but my kids are my world. Everything revolves around them. The only reason I go to work in the morning is so I can feed them and give them things. If it was just me, I'd just say screw it and have a minimum wage job. But I'm trying to pursue my career and push further to make more money, and while simultaneously got into a position where I only work 4 days a week, which is great. And now I have more time to spend with my family. I make more money, and now I can provide those things without being absent, which is great. A lot of people don't have that opportunity, and I wish everybody could, but it's not in the cards for everybody. And I hope and pray that those people are able to substitute that for something, even better.
Yeah, we're definitely blessed with 2 great children, and I don't know. That's what I always wanted. I didn't ever think that I was going to have kids or be able to have kids. So it's like if I never accomplish anything else in life, I am set.
Yeah.
So
I guess my other one besides family
the main thing
would be like, paying off my first car, my first brand new car.
Which was what?
The Corolla.
I was just saying, tell our listeners what.
Oh yeah.
What car did you have? What were we driving?
Bought a brand new Corolla. I mean, it wasn't brand new. It wasn't whatever the year was, but it was like a couple years older than the year that I bought it. And I paid it off. I mean, to some people that's nothing, but to me that was a big accomplishment. It's the little things, and it just goes to show you that you just work hard and keep at it, it'll pay off. And then I traded that car into the next thing, so it was nice. So yeah, there's that.
And if I do the same thing and go away from family, it's going to be a job, because another thing that I never thought I would have a job, because I was sick most of my life. So a lot of people take that for granted, and that's not something that I take for granted. I'm thankful to be able to even be able to have a job, because some people can't. So
yeah, and besides bullshit at work, your job isn't too terribly bad. I mean, you get to come home at
every
lunch.
work has a bullshit.
Yeah, everybody has their own.
It's usually if you
bullshit at
take it home with you, and I'm one of those people that I'm able to leave it there because it's a job. I am also a number, so
yeah, but you work 4 days a week as well.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
You have 4 days off. You have a 3-day weekend, which is
I
nice.
can't complain about it.
No, and you get to come home at lunch every day, which
Yep.
is nice because you're only
And if
not
my
too
babies
far
need
away.
me, I'm a phone call away and come right home to be with them. So
it's nice. So
Yeah.
we are very blessed in that aspect. So
for sure.
but yeah.
Oh, let's see. What keeps you up at night, Mikey? Besides right now, because it's about midnight.
Oh shit! It is midnight. What keeps me up at night?
Could be good or bad or both.
I guess it would be like the unknown. I worry a lot about the unknown. That's kind of like my thing.
What about the unknown?
Some people
worries
don't
you?
know this, but I'm like a amateur prepper, so I'm in the process of doing some, not like crazy, like build a bunker type prepper, which would be great, honestly. But
He wants to, just doesn't have the money to do it.
it'd just be dope. You have like 40 acres and have an underground bunker and like a two-bedroom
We can
house.
go blast from the past. I am down. That would be amazing.
House on the top of the land, and then underneath the land have like a 6-bedroom mansion or some shit with a fucking shooting range and arcade and
then you can say, "She put me in the doghouse."
Yeah, that'd be a great doghouse. You know, I've bought some medical supplies. I've been learning different medical techniques, and then trying to create a small group of people that can, or like I guess a community that can help provide for each other if shit hits the fan kind of situation. So, I mean, we live in a world of uncertainty as it is already. I mean, just turn on the TV and you can see it every freaking day, and we're bombarded by it. And it's so... And if it was just myself and my wife, it wouldn't be as big of a deal because I think we'd probably be able to take care of ourselves. But now we have kids, so now I got to start thinking about that, like where their next meal is going to come from if this happens. What happens if we can't go to the doctor? I mean, we saw that shit during COVID, you know. So like, what happens if this happens? You know. So I'm been prepping different things to try and help prepare. And it's not like I'm paranoid. I'm just aware of what's going on around us, and I'm trying to be better prepared for those situations that may arise. I mean, if they don't, at least I'm prepared for it. So
I don't think it's a bad thing to be prepared for things. On a lighter note, is there something good that keeps you up?
Usually a TV show or music or...
well, it's not Futurama because that's the one that puts you to sleep. So which one's keeping you awake?
If you guys don't know this, Futurama is my bedtime show. I will put in my headphones and put on Futurama, and I've seen it so many times that I can close my eyes and I can watch the episode in my head, and then I just fall asleep. That's just my go-to show. I mean, I've watched a couple other shows, but most of them I get interested in, and then I just stay awake. Futurama is my go-to. If I put on Futurama, I'm going to bed. Put anything else on, I'm going to watch. And so usually shows or a movie or something, unless I'm really deep into some research, that might keep me up for a little while, but most of the time it's
that's just me.
It's you.
That's me all day long. I'm not a show watcher. I'm none of that. I'm up reading about something.
Yeah, you're the researcher. You
a researcher of certain things, but you do the complete opposite of research than I do. Mine's like medical, mostly medical and those kind of things. But you're like,
I mean, I've done some medical stuff, you know, especially with our class that we had. You know, I bought a first aid kit, like a full-on first aid kit. And, you know, from mymedic.com, if you guys haven't been there, check it out. They take HSA and FSA if you have one through your work. Highly recommend. They have great products. They are not sponsors, which would be cool maybe one day. But
sponsor us. It's our first episode. Sponsor us.
Right? But I do enjoy their products. There are a few things in there that I don't necessarily need, but I have them just in case. And I did switch out their tourniquet that they had. They have a SWAT T tourniquet, and I switched it to a cat tourniquet. Just because I like the style. Not that I don't like the SWAT T, but I'm more familiar with it, the cat T. So that's why I switched it out. But I still have the SWAT T as a backup, just in case. That's for you prepper and medic nerds out there. Okay, I got one for you. It's pretty chill.
Oh, yeah.
Who has had the most influence on you in life?
My mom.
Your mom?
For sure. I mean, my dad too, but my mom, she's just, like most people say, they always have a pillar in their family, and she's that one. Mm-hmm. And, you know, she worked her whole life. She had one job. She's just someone, she just gets it done. Don't matter what it is, she'll figure it out. And I don't know, she's always there. She's always support. She loves everybody, and she's just that one person that you would that you would want, anybody would want, basically. So shout
Yeah,
out to my mom.
Your parents are good people. Your mom's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
Influence on my life. It's kind of hard to say. I've had a bunch of different influences in my life. A lot of them bad.
We won't talk about those ones.
Especially in high school. I drank and smoked weed and stuff like that. I'm not ashamed to admit any of that. Most people have tried those things in high school, with the exception of a few people that I know.
I got a car out of it, so
Hey,
no
if
complaining here.
If someone said, "Hey, I'd give you a car if you didn't do any drugs in high school," I'd be like, "Shit, say less."
Yeah, I don't know if you'd have made it.
It depends. Some of my friends were very
persuasive,
influential.
You just didn't know how to say no.
No, it's just I was trying to have fun and have a good time.
I feel it. Yeah.
I smoked weed and drank and partied and had a good time. I don't regret any of it.
So who influenced you?
I did those things. Well, some people, they never did that stuff, and then they go fucking crazy when they turn 20 to 25, or go to college or whatever, and then they just go off the wagon, and it's sad, but it does happen. And some people, start in high school or whatever, but I'm about 2 years sober now. I haven't smoked weed in a long time, but I haven't drank alcohol in about 2 years, which is nice. So just because I don't want to anymore. I'm just tired of feeling like shit. Anyways, back to influential people.
Mikey likes to go off on tangents, if you didn't know.
Yeah, shut up, leave me alone. You guys all understand. I'm a tangent guy. Influential people in my life. Obviously, you can always say your parents.
I had to.
Yeah.
It's a must for mine.
Obviously, my mom was a single parent, so she was influential in that aspect. That she was a strong person, taking care of 2 kids by herself. I mean, I did have a stepdad and whatnot, but my mom was a pretty big influential figure in my life, most of my life.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have to say kind of quite the opposite, not having an actual dad in my life. I mean, my father wasn't in my life, and no fault of his own. We're working through all that shit right now. But that basically influenced me to be a better father, like a good father, where I wanted to be there for my kids, no matter what. And I'm not saying anything bad about him. I want to put that out there. I'm not saying anything bad about him.
Everyone has their things.
But I didn't want to not be in my kid's life. So I kind of used that. I took a negative and turned it into a positive to try and be the best person I could be, and to become the best father I could be.
You've definitely succeeded. So.
Well, thank you. I
Absolutely.
try my hardest to be a good dad, and obviously everybody has their flaws and their faults, and I get angry and yell at my kids or whatever, but at the end of the day, my kids are taken care of. They have food on their bellies, and they're
loved. It all
healthy,
comes from love.
they know that I love them. They know that. But yeah.
Let's see. What was the best birthday or birthday present you ever got as a kid or an adult?
Fuck. Birthday present?
Present or just a birthday party?
Birthday party. Okay, I could do birthday party.
All right,
Presents,
let's hear it.
I don't really like getting presents, just because.
You don't like presents? All right, everyone heard it. Nothing's coming.
No, I don't like getting presents. I like giving presents, but I don't like getting presents.
No, you just like to send stuff like, "Hey, buy me a flamethrower for this."
I do want a flamethrower. I always ask for like the most ridiculous shit. I'll ask for like I don't know if you guys know this, there's a robot dog now.
Oh yeah.
It has a flamethrower on it that you can program and you can control, remote control, and it's like $10,000 or some shit. And I sent it to Jenna. And
more than once.
I sent it to Jenna and her dad.
Oh, my dad too.
And said, birthday present?
Yep.
And, yeah, nothing but laugh emojis.
Or silence.
Or silence. Applause, usually silence. But anyways, birthday party. I think my favorite birthday party was the 90s birthday party that we had at the old house.
Yeah, it was fun. You made a sign and everything.
We had sign.
And what cake did we have? What did I buy you?
We had a Good Burger cake. We had so Albertsons is a local grocery store.
It was
not there. Was it Albertsons?
No, Safeway.
Safeway. Just kidding. Bye, Albertsons. Safeway. I don't know if they still do, but they used to make a cake in the shape of a burger and fries, and then they would write whatever you wanted to in red lettering to make it look like ketchup. And so it's what did it say? Welcome to Good Burger or something like that.
I don't know. I don't remember, honestly.
But anyways, it was basically something about like on the Good Burger, like Good Burger from the show Nickelodeon back in the day in the 90s.
I dropped a screw in the ice cream machine.
No, a screw in the tuna.
Oh, in the tuna. Yeah. What's the ice cream machine? I know. Screwing it up. I know. I'm screwing it up with screw.
Keenan and Kel. Actually, I just watched that episode the other day. But
too tired.
There was that, and then we all dressed in 90s attire. We had like cassette tapes that we spray painted just neon colors. I had them hanging from the ceiling. I bought like an old Ghetto Blaster boombox. It looked like it was old, but it was newer. It had Bluetooth technology, and I had that, and we were playing like 90s.
And I think I got
songs
almost everybody to hula hoop.
And we carried that around. I carried that around, and we hula hooped, and had food and drinks and stuff. It was just fun. It was just fun to bring the 90s back, because everybody has an 80s party. I've been to so many 80s parties and seen 80s parties, this and that, but not very many people do 90s parties, which I think is a crime, because 90s was such a good time. Like 80s were great. I love the hair. I love the teasing of the hair. I love the the
which we did just dress up for one, and that was pretty fun.
But we just went to an 80s party not that long ago for my aunt, and it was great.
She threw a good one though.
Yeah, she did throw a good one. But the 90s party, it's just I think it's because I'm a 90s baby, so I just grew up during that era. So maybe it's just more nostalgic to me than 80s, just because like I didn't grow up in that area. I don't know more than anybody else knows about it that didn't grow up in that area. I know the music, I know the songs, I know the attire, I know the times, but I didn't grow up in the era, so I guess the 90s would be.
Gotta have nostalgia.
So that party was a hit. I loved it, and I think we should do another one sometime.
I'm down. We still need to do our music video we've talked about.
We talked about doing a music video for a birthday theme some year. This was quite a few years ago, where we have someone come over and video us lip syncing to a song that we would pick out, and have a group of friends come over and just kind of like, how a music video just shows different parts and they're in different places, different attire or whatever, and just basically do that at a party.
But definitely like a 90s vibe. Like it's gotta be the old school, like, yeah.
Big Willie style or some shit.
Yeah.
So, but it was an idea that never came to fruition, but it's still an idea that I think would be badass.
It would be.
So.
Yes.
What about you? Favorite birthday present or party or anything like that?
Oh man, birthdays. Mikey likes to rain on my birthday sometimes.
So many birthdays.
Oh, let's see. When I was a kid, I think it was like my 12th birthday, and my mom took us to, I think it was Spokane, and we got glamour shots done. We got makeup done and our hair done and a photo shoot. And like as a child, like that was the best thing ever. So that's one that like really sticks out of my mind. Like, my mom taking like 4 or 5 of us out of town. Like, I can only imagine us crazy girls, but
sounds fun. Not for me.
I'll have to pull the pictures out sometime.
Girl, but
well, yeah, you probably wouldn't want a photo shoot.
Post pictures online.
If I can find them. Yeah, they're pretty good.
I would love to see them. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I'll see if I can find them.
Okay, we're coming up close to the end here. It's kind of a more crazier questions I got to ask you.
Oh, I don't really got crazy ones. Okay, go ahead.
We can go on it.
Do it.
How about this? Are we living inside of a simulation?
Depends on a definition of simulation. Like,
computer code? Like, are we computer code, or is everything around us computer code?
I know.
Like the
I
Matrix.
know. No.
You've seen the
We're
Matrix.
not
Are we
living in
inside
the Matrix. Are we living in a made-up world? I guess if you want to say in a sense, like, yeah, because I think everything is orchestrated and it's basically a show. So I mean, it's kind of like a play, but no, I'm not like
We're
a
not in the
number.
Matrix.
No. Are we in the Matrix, Mikey?
Do I believe we're in the Matrix?
That's
So
what I just asked
I've
you.
seen the Matrix a bunch, and some of the stuff that they're talking about nowadays, like even scientists are contemplating the possibility of us being in a Matrix type simulation. But the thing is like, how would you know? Because something like that would have to be so advanced and powerful that it would be hard for us to even know, unless there was something like in the Matrix, there's the glitch, where the cat walks by and then the cat walks by again. Something like that would happen, or a deja vu. Excuse me.
So we're talking about like Mandela effect?
Well, the deja... No, that's completely different.
I know.
But it has some thing to do with the simulation. It could be they changed the code. And so some people remember one thing and the reality is something else. So I guess that could be technically part of the simulation, or it could just be mismemory, or alternate timelines. We're in a different dimension than we used to be in, or whatever. There's so many different things that we can go into. But I believe the simulation... In a simulation, even if we were in one, that would have to mean that there was some type of creator. And the creator would have to be in a sense, a god at least to us. And so I don't think simulation in that aspect is much different than, and I'm going to get dragged for it, than a type of religion, I guess. Because, I mean, we have rules. There's a God. And we don't know what happens when we leave or when we die. Unless you believe in the afterlife, which some religions do and some other religions don't. It just kind of depends. Like, most religions believe in an afterlife. I'm sure there's some out there that don't. Or like reincarnation or whatever. And that's just your code being reused. It's one of those crazy theories that I've been listening to a couple people on different podcasts talk about, like Joe Rogan, and Tinfoil Hat with Sam Tripoli, and even Greg Carlwood on the Higher Side Chats. A lot of those guys go into like the crazy conspiracy stuff, and some are more grounded than others. But I've looked at some of those, and it's a very fascinating topic. But do I believe we live in a simulation? I think that's up to debate. But if I had to go with my gut instinct, I would say no.
There it is.
Oh, whatever.
I don't think we're in a simulation. No. Let's see. What should we do? I don't have anything deep like that, Mikey.
No? I got one for you. Another one.
All right, go ahead.
Are birds real?
Some of them.
Some of them. Are birds real? We hunt ducks and geese, and we've shot plenty. And I know for a fact that those are real. But am I saying all birds are real? We have the technology to have drones and stuff that look like birds. So I would say that not all birds are real, but birds are real. Now you can yell at me in the comments or email me or whatever. You want to email me with all your insight on that, and that's completely fine. I love being proved wrong with those type of situations, just because like it intrigues me so much. So I'm open-minded to those things. So if you got something that basically tells me that they are fake or whatever, send it to me. I would love to see it or read it.
Talking about animals, if you had to describe yourself as an animal, what would it be and why?
Oh shit, that was one of mine. It was like,
oh, yeah, it's kind of the same thing.
An animal.
Mm-hmm.
Me?
You, yes.
I would like to be a lion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not really into astrology or whatever, but I'm already a Leo. But a lion, just because like you're the king of the jungle, and I got a big old mane. You know, my
Gotta have your beard.
my beard and my hair is getting long, so I got the mane. I like stretching. I like eating meat, and I like lazing around. So yeah, lion.
Nice.
What about you?
I honestly don't have any idea what I'd want to be.
Like a monkey?
I love monkeys, but I mean, it would be pretty fun swinging
you're
around.
Definitely a cat.
Well, of course I'm a cat. That's obvious.
You're skittish and you paw.
I'm skittish.
You're more skittish than like if I jumped around the corner, you'd be like,
yes, I know. I'm easily scared. I mean, that's probably what I most like is a cat, probably.
Not a lioness.
Well,
I guess.
Sure.
Maybe.
I guess we'll just go down that. I guess we're just both. We're the feline. Yeah, that works.
I would love to be a bird. I think that would be cool.
It would.
Fly. Just like, this place is boring. Let's get the hell out of here. And then just fly.
Just be gone.
Yep. And
then probably never come back to that same spot again.
Yeah. And then just shit white all over people and their cars.
Yeah.
I would literally just wait.
It's just because you're mad because you got
car and shit on it. just because I'm that type of person.
You're just mad because you got shit on, so now you just want to go do it to somebody else.
I got shit on when I was a kid from a bird, so I hold a grudge. So if I become a bird, I'm gonna shit on other people.
Who's the first person you would shit on?
The first person I would shit on?
Yeah, if you could choose.
Oh shit. I don't know. Well, so if I'm a bird, does that mean that there's a me out there? Because if there was like a me out there, like if there was a Mike out there and I was that bird, I would just shit on myself. I would complete the loop.
Wow, that was way different.
I would complete the loop. So,
well, why would you shit on yourself?
Because I would complete the loop, and then all of a sudden, the universe.
What's gonna happen?
The universe would collapse on itself, and we'd fall into a black hole, and then we'd be transformed to another dimension where, I don't know, spiders don't exist or some shit.
All right.
It'd be a great time because I hate spiders.
Okay, there it is, guys. All right.
All right, guys. All right, we're going to wrap up here. Thank you.
Have a good night.
I want to thank you all for listening to the CatchAll. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and consider subscribing to our podcasts. That lets us know to continue creating more episodes. There will be a link in the show notes for our socials where you can keep up to date with us. And with that, we're out. This has been the CatchAll. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Thank you for turning... All right, I want to thank you all for listening to the CatchAll. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like and consider...